Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 4th of January 2020. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Connolly Tarot for today's reading, and as I shuffle the cards, I just asked them, what is Saturday the 4th of January going to be about? How can we use the energy to our advantage? And these readings are for everyone who watches and for all signs of the zodiac. So if you're watching this right now, this applies to you. Obviously, it'll manifest itself differently for us because we have different life circumstances. But this is basically like a weather report on the energy. So we've got men here. Men in the tarot symbolize building, creating, destroying, fighting. All of the stereotypical gender roles that are associated with men and women are very present in the tarot. So women are seen as more receptive, nurturing, loving, giving birth. Men are seen to compete and to build and construct and to be reliable. In this case, we've got two young men and an older man who seems to be in some sort of trouble and distress, but this one does too. So let's have a look. The Five of Cups is a minor arcana card, and usually we have a very dark figure, either male or female. You can't really identify it. So the fact that I've picked this deck today and the fact that I have a deck that depicts the Five of Cups as a young man, that's significant. And there may be a young man in your life today who causes problems or who causes you upset. If you look at the situation differently, it'll inspire you with a different idea. You'll understand that person better. It could also be something that you've just started doing. If you have fallen in love with painting and you've just started taking a course and everything, and you thought it was going to be one way, but now they're teaching you another way, and you're really bummed out and depressed about that because your perspective on art has now completely changed, and they're telling you that you're supposed to do things in this way. So you do that, and ironically, your art is better. You start to learn how to create real masterpieces. You become the Page of Cups. You go from this to being teachable, who then becomes the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups, who rules emotions. So the first thing you've got to do to liberate yourself today on Saturday the 4th is by changing your perspective. Don't look at the 3 cups of wine that have spilled in front of you. Look at the 2 cups that are still on the mantelpiece and that are whole. You still have 2 cups left. You're free. 5 is freedom in numerology. So you can walk through a doorway. These 2 create a door. So you can, and there's a doorway right here with sparkling, wonderful lights. So don't look at this and the dead fire. Look at what you have, be grateful and feel secure. Nothing is threatening you, and go out and experience some magic rather than looking to the past and being grim and depressed about it. You will be offered new things to fall in love with. We've got this beautiful card. I love the fish. Look at the color of that fish and the blood red sunset. The only blood red sunset I've ever seen like this has been in Clearwater, where it was just beautiful. Sunsets in the west, rises in the east, and Clearwater's on the western side of Florida. There's something about Miami where the sun goes a different way. Yeah, so you'll see it in Clearwater because Clearwater faces west. If you're in Miami, it's a little bit weird because the sun rises in the east and goes down in the west. So when you're in Miami facing east, the sun sets kind of behind you. It's the other way around. which is also a matter of perspective in itself. That's great. I love the fact that that example just came up, even though it was a bit long-winded. So it's perspective, the ability and the chance to really love something and to learn new things and to become an expert and to find a new love. Look at this discarded rose there. That's what he was interested in before. He's now choosing something else and he's looking to fall in love with something or someone else. Finally, the Knight of Swords is someone who's in the middle of a terrible fight. It's really windy. He's armored. The horse is being driven. He's in battle mode. He's charging in to kind of fight for his country or for his ideas or for his idealism or to protect the crown, whatever it may be. The Knight of Swords is super over the top. He's really extreme. Someone says it's like serial mom. It's like you give what the teacher gives one of your children a B minus. So you get your horse and your sword out and you go over and kill the teacher because of the B minus. It's total overreaction. And then other times, someone says something that really ought to cause the Knight of Swords to take action, like, the business is 10,000 in debt, and unless we create something new, the business is going to keep making more debt. Then the guy running the business, the Knight of Swords, who hears that, should then make plans to cut the overhead so that the debt is resolved and to focus on sales. But instead, he would just do nothing as an extreme response. So he's an unreliable narrator. He's an unreliable character. He's an unreliable person who's unpredictable in his thinking and totally random in his decision making. So today isn't an easy day. First of all, to make it fun and sparkly, the first challenge you're being given is we can either look at the past and what's been lost, or we can look at the future. And the doorway is half there, not even a quarter there. There's no doorway being formed between these two cups. There's a doorway down here into something dark. It's inherent in the card that we've got these partial doorways everywhere, because unless you look for it, you won't find it. So find the positive that will allow you to love something or someone. An idea will jump out of the water, or a feeling or a person or an activity or a new skill that you're able to absorb, learn, study, that kind of pops out through your feelings. And listen to your feelings. If you have this new thing come into your life and it feels positive and interesting, then pursue it. If it feels difficult, it makes you crazy because it's so complicated, then leave it be. Because today, if you try and figure things out with logic, you're going to be in a storm and you're going to be galloping around not knowing who the real enemy is, and you're just going to drive yourself crazy. If you let your feelings guide you and you recognize that you have a tendency today to see things negatively, but you're determined to look at the beauty and the joy in life and the new ideas and the new things that you can learn. So instead of saying, I'm done now, I have no future, which is what this would be, you say, okay, that situation didn't work out. Onwards and upwards, I'm going to pick myself up, dust myself off, and I'm going to keep going. And that's all we can do in life. If you give up, you give up. Sometimes in life, you've got to fight to survive and to get through things. And the negative stories that we tell ourselves don't help. That's why people who are indomitable are so beloved by society. Like people who you can't keep down. You know, like Barbara Windsor, for instance, in the UK. She's been an actress for decades, and just her determination and her self-belief to keep going, even though there's adversity everywhere. She bases it on her own strength, and it comes from her own vulnerability and feeling. That's why I always say vulnerability is strength, because when you listen to your feelings and you get into a relationship that you feel good about, or you start doing work that you fall in love with, or you start to study a subject that absolutely fascinates you, when you listen to your feelings today, you're onto a good thing. You will progress. You will learn how to love more. You will have an experience of love today. If you try and simply use logic and look at the facts and the figures and make big decisions today, it's likely that you're going to overreact. You'll be too forthright. You'll make too many cuts, or you won't even participate. I remember when Joaquin Phoenix was on the Late Show with David Letterman, and he was wearing sunglasses, Joaquin Phoenix, and he had this beard, so he was completely hidden, and he wasn't saying anything. And David Letterman was so funny. He said, Joaquin, I wish you could have been here tonight. And everyone laughed because he was physically present, but he was doing some gag for a film or something that he was doing. So he wasn't intellectually or emotionally present, and everyone picked up on it. And David Letterman very intelligently made a remark about that, which everyone could sense and which everyone laughed at, because you don't need to be a great psychic to know when someone is emotionally present, or when someone likes you back, or when someone is interested. You know, if you see someone reading a book, you can tell if they're enjoying that book or not. So be self-aware. Look at what drags you down and what gives you a sense of hope and fireworks for the future. It may feel like the sun is setting on good things. There may be a sense of you could become maudlin today. So if you're a big drinker, stay away from the red wine. That always makes people very overly sentimental in my experience. And instead of that, focus on the new goal. Even though there is this thing of something has ended and I'm starting something new, start that, embrace the excitement and the chaos and the fact that you know nothing about this area that you're getting into. Celebrate that. You know, it's one thing to get into something and study it and to master it and to know it and to use it, but learning something new or going on a first date, that's a completely different experience. And if you start a relationship today and you have a great first date, you'll always be able to remember that and tell your grandchildren that story, that you trusted your feelings on this day. Things seem kind of bleak and out of control, but you listened to your gut, you talked to the people you got a good vibe from, you enrolled for the course that you felt was right for you, you made a charitable gesture to the charity of your choosing, and you do all of these things today. You've listened to your gut and you're teachable, and you get on a path that is full of love and that will bring in new experiences and new opportunities. If you're critical or sentimental or you have a sharp tongue, be careful that you don't say things you may regret later on. And if you're being asked to take action and you absolutely know that you should not take action, please just reconsider it, because you may be digging in your heels when you're really supposed to move ahead. And the only way to figure that out is to listen to your gut. What is the right thing to do in this situation? Your gut is going to tell you, not the thoughts. So for instance, if you've got a terrible family situation and you're responsible for your grandmother, and you think, oh, well, she was never there for me when I was a child. Now I'm supposed to give back and it's going to cost me all this money. If you think along those logical lines, there's no heart in it. But as a grandchild and seeing your grandmother in this uncertain date of where's she going to live next, as a grandchild, you may get the feeling and the message that the right thing to do here is, and it might not be the right thing for everybody, but you get the sense that this is my flesh and blood, it's my obligation to take care of her. Some people may not have that feeling, but when you listen to your gut today, that's when you do the right thing. So even though you're gonna, let's go with that example again, even though it's gonna cost you money, and even though she was never there as a child for you, it doesn't matter. You know what the right thing is, and what you're doing is you're going with your feelings today. And you're not letting yourself get dragged down. You deliberately make a focus to look at the positives in life. That brings you something new. And don't listen to gossip, all the drama, all the catastrophizing that's going on around you. Other people are a little bit confused and possibly even a little bit hysterical because they don't know exactly what's going to happen. The way to peace is through your feelings. If you have a spiritual practice in your life, please use it. Yoga, meditation, prayer, dance, swimming, whatever it is that centers you and gives you a sense of feeling grounded. Walking in nature, walking by the beach, anything that gives you a sense of how beautiful, wow. Pursue that and it will open ideas for you. It's a great day. It looks somewhat turbulent, but out of turbulence come great events. And in my experience, the best things in life that have happened are things that happen instantly. Number-wise, we've got 5 and 2 court cards, which count as 1. So that's 6 and 7. 7 in numerology is the mind and creativity. You have to use your mind in the sense of changing your perspective by saying, I feel rubbishy today. I'm going to make the deliberate, thoughtful. That's the only way to use your ideas today, really, in the best way. I'm going to make a choice to feel good. I'm going to put a smile on my face. I'm going to fake it to make it. I'm going to act as if. I'm going to look at these 2 cards, 2 cups, because I still do have 2 cups that are standing. I haven't lost anything and everything. So I'm not lying here. I'm being honest. I still have these 2 things, but I'm telling myself to make the choice to look at the good. When you make that choice, the feelings will follow the positive feelings, and you're not going to be thrown into some sort of a tornado of a situation that you have no control over. You have a day where you're able to explore what it is and who it is you love. So have a wonderful day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology, so I can answer any questions you may have. For the astrology, I need your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. The chart changes every 4 minutes, so if you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me on the website as well, please. I can work out your time of birth. It's important because the chart changes every 4 minutes. Plural, 4 minutes. So if you have any questions, please do get in touch with me via the website, gregoryscott.com, and click on the Book Your Readings button on the front page, or the shop tab to get to the section that you're looking for. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this video, then please hit subscribe and share the video online, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.